Welcome to Dawn of a Story. This is more than a podcast. It's a place where we speak the truth, tell the stories that shape us, and honor the moments that made us who we are. I created the space because I believe storytelling is how we connect, how we heal, and how we remember who we are. Some stories are still being written. Some are full of laughter. Some have changed everything, but all of them matter. Whether it's my story or one of my guests, my hope is that you hear something that resonates, that reminds you that you are not alone and encourages you to tell your story too. So settle in because every story starts somewhere, and this one starts now. Thank you for tuning in and welcome to Dawn of a Story. I'm your host, Dawn Pascal. I'm so very grateful that you decided to spend your time with me and my guest this week, Cynthia Malaran. Every show we will be exploring a new theme, and this week's theme is The Stories That Saved Me, laughing, loving, and DJing through the darkness. I can't think of anyone better to talk to than Cynthia. Through sound, rhythm, and joy, she's turned turntables into medicine. So today, we're talking about the music that held her and the stories behind the beats. So let me tell you a little about my guest. Cynthia Malaran, known as DJ CherishTheLuv, is a sound healer, cancer survivor, and fearless advocate for joy as medicine. An internationally known professional DJ, she uses music, mindfulness, and storytelling to uplift and empower others. With vibrant energy and deep vulnerability, she brings laughter and light to even the heaviest topics. From cancer healing to hospice, working with unhoused youth and incarcerated individuals, her mission is simple: helping others heal one beat, one breath, and one story at a time. So without further ado, let's get started. Hi, Cynthia. I'm so happy to see you and welcome to the show.
Hi, Dawn. I'm so honored to be part of your new chapter in sharing, in caring, in storytelling. It is, we've known each other a while,
We have, yep.
and, and I just love, I can just close my eyes and just picture all the different stages you've gone through in expressing and telling stories through food, through capturing other people's stories. And now I think you're going to actually start telling your own story through us. So it's really wonderful to be here and so delightful knowing that you have an audience I haven't met yet, but here we are.
Thank you. Yes, here we are. Thank you. Thank you. So for all of our viewers and listeners, Cynthia and I met back in 2017. I had just opened up my retail brick and mortar bakery, and she was the host of a really fabulous YouTube show called Veggie Hunter. And in comes Cynthia, and vibrant energy just brings joy, and of course, music, and just wonderfulness to every situation. So I am equally honored that you were here because I feel like, as this is my foray into a new platform, you were here again in the very beginning. So thank you for that. Thank you.
I'm a ride or die.
Yeah.
I'm a ride or die for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Same here. So, Cynthia, your energy is ridiculously infectious. It is. And I've said that before. And yet you've walked through some of the hardest moments life can throw at someone. What role has music played for you in surviving those sessions? And how did you hold on to joy when you felt it was furthest away for you?
That's a very good set of questions. It's something I still unpack as I develop, as I get wiser, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
as I gain more experiences. Music has helped me come to finding my truth. I grew up in a very don't tell people what's really going on
Right.
kind of Filipino Catholic, keeping appearances type of background, which is okay, but it's not ideal if you want to stay spiritually healthy, mentally healthy, which is really important when it comes to maintaining physical health, being true to yourself, and knowing your story. Music has helped me express my honest emotions. You know, did you say music is what emotions sound like?
Mm-hmm.
So when there weren't words for me to express because I wasn't safe yet in my mind, or I didn't just know how to express, be it happiness, sadness, just movement in general, I would turn to music. So would go to music for myself into my iPod, listen to my Depeche Mode, listening to my dance music, listen to my Erasure, whatever, to help me. I wanted to say disconnect, but really to connect
Mm-hmm.
with myself. As I kept doing that, I found people were attracted to the way I handled music and wanted me to play music for them at events, at parties. And I didn't realize people wanted music for their healing too. It was all in the first many years of my DJ career was very selfish. It was for me.
Mm-hmm.
But once I started to see that the dance floor was a healing space, not just with music, but for movement, there's so many people who are frozen in their bodies from trauma,
Right.
from insecurity, from just, self-image, just all of the things. Oh my goodness, I don't want people to see me. If they even show up to the dance floor, they're gonna be like hanging out by the wall and not wanting to be seen. But when I see that, I call them out. You in the red shirt, I see you. Because I want people to know that they're seen and they're safe in my space. So my dance floor is where I do most of my music healing. To this day, it's like what I focus the most on. And I'm so grateful that I have that tool, just all the people who create music out there that I get to play for other people. Thank you. Just thank you. Everyone. I'm so grateful. So that's what music has done for me. Just given me the way to connect with people
Mm-hmm.
and just come to this collective healing, be it finding that joy that we're going to talk about next, or just using the dance floor as an act of resistance in times that are really painful and
Right.
challenging. Never feel guilty for taking a moment to dance for your health, because it's a waste to let yourself wither because life is so overbearing. And I'm not just even talking political, just
Mm-hmm.
in the way technology is advancing. And it's like, what is anything anymore?
Right. Right.
So connecting with yourself and finding that joy on the dance floor or in the privacy of your own home and just blasting some music, what I often do.
Oh, me too.
And that's, I know, I know. So I have kept myself light in dark times and finding that joy through music and through being honest with myself, even in times where I didn't feel like tapping into the joy was what I needed.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'd stay honest, even in darker times, I would be able to sleep better at night because I wasn't lying to anyone, most especially not myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's where my joy comes from, waking up the next day knowing that I was good to myself.
Right.
Yeah.
And you've laid the groundwork now for each day to just advance and grow upon that, because you 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 know that music is a connector. You know that um it just brings people together, and you you radiate that.
Mm.
Like, it's
Thank
so
you.
to me it's part of your DNA, like that. So when I think of you, and I know that we're going to talk about all the wonderful things that you're doing and all the avenues and lanes and things that you're advancing and doing, but to me, you are music. Like
Mm.
that's how I would describe
Wow.
you. You're music.
That's so, so humbling. It's so humbling. It's so beautiful. I'm getting warm because it's something that I hope I'm able to achieve by being that. that of service to people.
Right.
And to know that if I can do that even for one song for someone, that they don't have to think about their bills for 2 minutes and 45 seconds, and they're just stomping their floor and singing whatever lyrics, even if it's incorrect, that was my service to someone in that moment is pretty special. It's pretty special
Oh, it's
because music,
huge.
it's I'm getting warm again. It's like I always feel that radiant energy because music is so full of love, like people create music with love in it, like you could tell, you can feel it. And music is, it's a heartbeat, for a
Right.
lot of people, a literal lifeline.
Yeah.
How many times have you been like, this song is like saving me right now?
Right. Right. And it's an energy and it's a current. And there's something to say about the music that we grew up on too as Gen Xers. I too have the same songs in my repertoire that I go to, and there are certain songs that I can put on that I am immediately brought back to the 80s, which were the best
Instantly,
time ever. Um,
instant.
best. Big hair, fabulous music. And yeah, and it's there's something to say about, I don't remember what I ate for breakfast yesterday, but I know every word to an Erasure song,
Totally,
right?
totally,
Yeah,
totally. Yeah.
it's crazy. It's crazy. So, so Cynthia, you've shared music in hospital rooms. You've shared it at memorials, obviously on dance floors. What does it mean to DJ with love, especially in a room where there might also be grief?
Mm, mm. I always assume there's grief. I mean, we're just, humans who are carrying all the emotions.
Right.
And sometimes grief can spark a lot of happiness and vice versa. So, what it means to be able to be people and to know that, everyone is there as an individual is when I have gigs where I feel like everyone is here because they all came from someplace.
Hmm.
And then when the night is over, they're all going someplace, and I just like connect with them that way. Ah, it's so satisfying. It's so satisfying. And of course, you play music really, really loud, which is super.
Yeah, which is always key.
But to connect, I love to connect with folks through music in a very specific way. So there are so many questions you can ask a DJ. That's like, hey, so what kind of music do you like to play? And it took me about 8, 9 years to actually come up with my genuine answer for that. And it makes so much sense in the way that I operate. And I think you'll get this. So I could say, I play music that people love. But that's like, I love that song that's on the radio right
Mhm.
now. Or I could say, I play music that people like, and that would be like, someone's like, I really like hip hop genre, but I like to play music that people miss because it brings them back to that time in, let's say, their 20s when they had less bills. I don't know, maybe less kids, less worries. Everything was simpler, and they were just discovering themselves. So when I look around at the crowd and I kind of get an idea by the variety of music I play to see what makes
What
them
moves them?
bubble up,
Right.
what moves them, what brings them laughing, what they start singing the lyrics to, I go, okay, we're tuned in now. And when I can do that, then the people who are there, even though it's dark, feel seen and heard. And nights like that, and you go home and you're like, what a great night.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
absolutely. And I love to recall, Susan and I, my sister and I joke about this all the time. Our toughest problem was what we were going to wear that night.
yeah,
That's when you're talking about simpler times and you just
yeah,
wanted to be out. You just wanted to be out and you wanted to have fun. And of course it's all around
yeah,
music. It was always
always.
dancing and it was always about music. without a
Always,
doubt.
always. It's how we nourish ourselves.
Right.
It's like you and I have talked over the years about the way we nourish ourselves, whether it's through, like we talked about in the past, secondary food and primary
Mhm.
food. Secondary food being the food that we cook, chew, and eat that nourishes our body, and primary food being everything else in life that we do that nourishes us before we eat.
Right.
That's listening to music, dancing, hugging friends, playing with our little dogs. And
Right.
you'll notice, and a great job, people that you like to quarrel with at your job, and you'll notice that the better quality primary food you have in your life, the better quality secondary food you choose to eat. And adversely, if you have terrible primary food in your life, a terrible partner fighting all the time, you're going to order and eat the worst stuff.
Right.
So, music being something that nourishes us, not just for joy, but for honesty and our truth and connection, is amazing for just our general holistic existence on this planet, which feels long, but is actually pretty short.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Beautifully said. Beautifully said.
Thank you.
So, when it comes to your own healing, are there certain songs or memories or moments that have become
Mm.
anchors for you?
My gosh, so many. There are times I will just play whatever was playing in my mixtapes. When I had my first car, what was it? 290? Oh my. I was just driving
It
around
was
blasting.
yesterday.
And
That was yesterday.
just yesterday, a few decades ago, blasting anything from my favorite Beastie Boys to Pixies to Morrissey's, Smiths, all my new wave post-punk stuff, to whatever I grew up in the 80s listening to when
Mhm.
things were so simple. And the biggest worry was, do we have enough milk for my cereal?
Right.
So that would be like "We Built This City" or early Madonna,
Right.
like all of Cyndi Lauper, like all of these things just help me tune out what's going on right now, just for enough time for me to reset my nervous system, and then I can turn that off and then sit down again and not feel like I am ineffective and can't do anything for society. It's really easy to fall into a dark place where you feel like, what can I even do?
Right.
But the best thing you can do is keep yourself peaceful and healthy, because if you're chaotic, you're making more chaos. And
Right.
it's as simple as that,
Yeah, it is. And shutting that narrative off in the mind
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
sometimes tells you things that aren't nice
Right.
because
Right.
of whatever the circumstance. You feel you don't deserve it, or you had a bad day, or
Yeah.
you had a bad week, or you had a bad
Yeah.
year, or on and on and on and on for those types of answers. Turning on a good song,
Yeah.
again, back to
You deserve it.
you deserve well, and again, it's a portal back to a time when, like you said, things were fabulous, or things were
Hmm.
easier, or the focus was just on how happy can I be right now to just listen to the music and dance.
We have to do that in our day. I mean, it is just, I know this from experiencing very grave illnesses, that that inner conviction you have that you deserve to feel better, that you deserve a little bit of relief and
Right.
rest and happiness and nourishment. Without that, I mean, it's a painful, painful existence. And now, feeling a bit of joy, you shouldn't have that guilt about it. You
Mhm.
need it.
Right.
It's just as important as getting fresh air and taking a walk.
Right.
I think that, especially if you have loved ones, the better you are for them. And not that we're living for other people, but people, if they rely on you, and you take care of yourself, you're better for yourself and for everyone who loves you.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
really important,
It
you
is.
know?
It is very important. So, can we start to talk about some of the stuff that you're into? What you've got
Yeah.
new that's going on? Yeah, I'm excited to hear.
Yeah, so much. I have had the joy of playing everybody else's music that I love. And in recent years, I've been producing and creating music myself, starting with television or documentaries for film. And right now, we just submitted a film to Sundance, Crossing Fingers, that
Yay!
I fully scored, which is a very, very mind blowing for me accomplishment because I always felt like it was so far away to be able to score a film with intent and deep meaning and love and for it to travel around the world.
Mhm.
It just felt like something that was like, oh, that's so out there. But when you stay open and have that gratitude and say, bring it on, I really want to experience this. We are very powerful manifestors when we ask for things,
Absolutely.
whether it's positive and
Or
negative,
negative, right.
like
Right.
or negative. So I remember thinking like, oh, I've been doing some TV stuff. I would love to, under all the good conditions, work on film.
And here you are.
And oh my goodness, the most wonderful project has come along where I'm scoring a film about a really wonderful guy. His name is Brian Bishop, who is a 10 plus year survivor of brain cancer.
Wow.
And his film is his, his story,
Mhm.
because we love to help people share and tell their stories. But the music is made from the sounds of his MRI.
What?
Yeah.
That's
So I've
amazing.
worked with you in the past making music from kitchen objects.
Right.
I graduated from that to brain cancer. So we're able to turn brain cancer into music. Now, I don't know any other way to jujitsu something so scary and heavy into something so powerful and just expansive and inspiring than that,
That's
So,
mind-blowing.
oh yeah, yeah. I cannot wait to find out the status of it, and then it'll go to the other film festivals, and I will keep you posted.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
Oh, wow. I'm honestly at a loss for words because that is talk about, like you said, just turning the table, flipping over that
yeah,
coin to something that's beautiful from something that is scary. That is
yeah.
mind-blowing. That's mind-blowing.
I mean, scary things are powerful, and scary things make really great muses.
It does.
And there are times that challenges make for really great explorations
Right.
into just creativity and also just trying to not feel like, why me?
Right.
Instead, be like, why me?
Yeah.
We get stuck in the why did this happen to me? I started to think, like, how did this happen? You start to play with the questions that we were trained to in the 80s to like
Right.
put upon ourselves all the concepts of failure, of guilt, of all the things. And I started to think, what if everything I learned was wrong? What if I could see it from just slightly other angle, just as you would say, and I've made many a funky looking cake, but as you know, looking at a thing at another angle, you start to problem solve or see the art and the beauty
Right.
from that perspective. So when I hear people's stories, as you are doing now, I see and hear the beautiful thing that needs to be shared, not just for that person's healing, but for the person who's listening that's
Listening.
going to go, I would have never thought that.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And that's what this space is. There was a good span of time, I'd say probably about the past 5 years, but prior to that as well, when I started the business back in 2013, I thought that I knew what I was doing, and I was just so scared. But I was just so scared because there was so many unknowns and it was so out of my comfort zone. And I looked to conversations that others were having, basically strangers that I've never met before, that I now met and got introduced to through their podcast and guests that they had, and so on and so on. And then the next thing you know, it became like second nature to me to listen to them and pull from them and glean from them what it is that I needed to hear. Just like earlier before film today, I was telling you about how I had my aha moment, and this all sort of came together. And it's those things. It's the it's the listening to somebody else's story that helps you sometimes fill in the gap, get answers, or feel better about where you are in knowing that, yeah, you know what, it is going to be okay. And you might not
Yeah.
have all the answers today, but you'll start to get those answers if you're open to it, or if you push yourself a little, or whatever the scenario is. So that's how this
Absolutely.
space came about.
There are hints around you all the time.
Right.
If you're listening, or if your eyes are open, and if, most importantly, your heart and mind are open to it, hints will just keep showing up. And I don't know what it's from, if it's from the Matrix, or if it's from our guardian angels or our ancestors who just want to see us happy and healthy. Whatever it is, thank you, thank you. But
Right.
they're all around us. So when you are listening to someone and you're going, huh, those are the hints that future you needs in order to exist.
Right.
So when you feel that and you write it down and make a note and make it your own and make something from that, I mean, to me, that's life, you know?
Yeah.
And it balances all the negativity that people are creating and multiplying
Right.
simultaneously in this world. That's happening all the time. So it's almost like our duty to create and make these bouquets of flowers of things that we're wanting to put out there and deliver them to people,
Yeah.
especially with technology. That's rather easy.
Right. Right. And keep our frequency high, right? Because
That's right.
it's so very easy to drop your frequency, but you have to uplift yourself, and even on the not so great days, keep your frequency high, because that's what the music is. It's a high frequency.
I like to call it, keep your vision, your image in your mind of the outcome, keep it positive.
Yeah.
Because yes, our energy is going to dip through the day. We're living human beings. That time I feel my frequency is dipping, I usually just need a rest moment, a nap, or maybe a little less coffee, or a little less ice cream, a little something else. I just need to
To
get
balance you.
a
Right.
breather
Right.
to balance, exactly, because it's not realistic to say I have to be happy all the time, because again, we can't lie to ourselves. That just creates more toxicity within us. So honoring those moments when you're like, oh my god, this is now for real for me. Sometimes when I'm doing something awesome and I feel successful, I will have a survivor guilt moment,
Mm.
a success guilt moment, sometimes what people have called imposter syndrome
Hmm.
moment,
Hmm.
or I'll just miss my dog who I had for almost 16 years, who has been gone 2 years. I'll just have um, a moment. But if I were to deny that, then I wouldn't be seeing all the parts of me
Right.
that's begging to be seen. And I always question why now, so what's going on now? When I give myself that space to go, hey, I gotta go. I feel like crap right now, whether that's to myself or to anyone I'm talking to, or I'll just like go out for a walk and not invite anyone. It's always been the best thing I could have done,
Hmm.
because you can't rely on other people to give you the relief and the rest you need.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not an easy lesson to listen to
Right.
ourselves. You keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. I know that I was like in machine mode when I had the
Hmm.
the shop, and as much as it was a labor of love, and it was, and I stress the word labor of
Hmm.
love, I also became the lowest on the totem pole of priority. And
Mm.
that wound up coming back at me throughout 2020, which just started this snowball of unraveling of things in my life, which at the time couldn't really deal with, couldn't really understand, had a lot of the why me? Why is this happening?
Mhm.
And I could honestly sit back now and think, wow, okay, I still miss the bakery with my whole heart.
Mm.
And I'm just in a different place now. And if all of those eye openers didn't happen, I feel like I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be here today
Mm.
doing this, I
I,
mean.
s- I still feel like the bakery is there because it lives in my heart,
Oh,
just so you know.
thank you.
And I can imagine eating a chunk of butter at any moment I choose, which is really funny, actually. So, of course, we're all part of. We're all good people. We're all good women, and we're all gonna do people pleasing, right?
Right,
But we forget to include ourselves in that list of people. This is what we weren't taught because martyrdom is something that maybe we might have learned from a, mother figure in our life. I know I did.
right,
When I realized, like, wait a minute, I need to, I need to do things that's pleasing to me too, agreeable to me too. This
right,
is not selfish.
right,
How could be selfish when I've been giving myself 0.01?
right.
How could that
Negative.
possibly be
Yeah,
selfish? Even negative,
right.
correct? Correct. And it shouldn't. Now, this lesson came to me after being diagnosed with breast cancer. But this lesson is something I talk about a lot because I don't want people to have to get diagnosed with something before they maybe come to this understanding.
Right.
Because even a diagnosis is not a guarantee that you snap out of it and realize you exist. But some of us got, holy crap, this is real.
Right.
Stress is real. Unhappiness is very toxic. I have to find the balance. I have to say bye to a lot of things and people. You have to make room for things that
Mhm.
I really want to do. Things that I'd love to do when I was 9 tend to be things I still love to do now. And that's art things, create things, like just be that child that's still in me. I'm just an older version of that child. That's still me. So when you find that balance, suddenly you become inspiring to other people.
Mhm.
And again, that's effortless service. Effortless. You know, service shouldn't just be I'm giving and giving all my time and cooking people lasagnas and delivering it and screw these people. They don't even say thank you. That's not what it
No,
is.
right, right. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So, Cynthia, you've turned your own pain into purpose and into rhythm. What advice would you give to someone who's still sitting in the dark and trying to find their own light?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a place I've experienced many times. And if I think back, the common thread in my own behavior, because you have to be self accountable
Mhm.
for these things, is that I didn't listen to myself. And I stayed in places that I didn't really, really belong anymore. And I held on to objects and memories and knickknacks and things from other times that I thought were better, which was an illusion. Because if I were to go back in time, I would still think there was a better time.
Right, right.
So it was just not realizing that the moment I have right now is all I actually have. And it's a blessing because so many people did not get to wake up that morning,
Mhm.
whether they were ill or not. Or so many people didn't get to have lunch, and I'm sitting pouting at this lunch, trying to understand that I have to listen to myself, especially that intuition, that thing that's telling you
Mhm.
quit the job,
Mhm.
change your career, change the partner, buy new clothes,
Right, right.
get insoles for your shoes, you know, don't eat that food. These
Yes,
things, if you don't listen to
yes.
it, you're betraying yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, it's your conversation with yourself. And so many times I didn't even understand or remember the ugliest ways I used to speak to myself
Mhm.
back in high school, let's say. Back when I was like, I'm so fat. And I look back at those pictures, I am super slender and young. I would like to go
Yes,
back
yes.
to that healthy state.
Yeah.
We just are just so bombarded by media, by what's on TV. We don't want to look in the mirror. We go, oh, aging. I have stopped with the aging thing. I just started to realize it was just all knowledge. There's just knowledge, like I'm not getting older, I'm getting more advanced in my life. Where I am in comparison to anybody else is the illusion.
Right,
It doesn't matter.
right.
And everybody is thinking the same thing. That's the biggest joke. It's like all the people you think are that have it super great and super easy are sitting and thinking the same about other people. And you're like, what is this trap? And I'm convinced it's something we learned from pop culture that we have to kind of uncouple ourselves from, unlatch ourselves
Mhm.
from like even the perfection of the images of AI. At least we know they're super fake. But there were times that we had physical magazines in our hands and we are like, I guess this is the Bible. God, I'll never achieve this.
Yes,
So I'll never be
right. I
beautiful.
wish I was 6 feet tall. If I was, then I would be thinner, right?
And everything would
That
be
used to be one that
better
I used to say all the time. Meanwhile, I look back at what I call high school fat and think, "Girl,
if
you're out of your
only.
mind. You're out of your mind."
I'll tell you the moment that I had this switch in myself deeply about how we regard ourselves, the ugly things we tell us, and how that affects us. I had a talk with my mom. My mom's skin is better than my skin ever was. I don't even know how. She's like, now she's in her mid 80s. But I had this talk with her easily 15 years ago. And I was looking at her skin and I said, Mom, you're just known for having such beautiful skin because she doesn't wear makeup. And I followed her and I was like, if mom doesn't wear makeup, I don't need to put foundation on and all this
Mhm.
stuff. And I've always been pretty light on makeup unless it was like TV stuff. So I followed my mom and I said to her, You're just so like natural and like beautiful. How how do you do this?" And she goes, No, I don't think I'm beautiful at all. I think that makeup won't even make me beautiful, so I don't bother." That
Wow.
blew my
Yeah.
mind.
So not what you thought she was gonna say.
Not at all. Not at all. And I was so kicked in the gut that the compound decades of my mom telling herself that she's ugly
Wow.
and that no makeup could fix her. Meanwhile, the world was admiring her natural beauty.
Wow.
The complete disconnect of just something in yourself that you're saying over and over again that robs you of your joy
Mhm.
was such a wake up call for me. And I said, okay, mom, you're wrong. You're not going to be able to hear me,
Right.
but I need to tell you you're
Right,
wrong.
right.
And I need to take that as a lesson that there's going to be things that I might be telling myself over and over again that is robbing me of my joy. And if I'm looking to help people find joy, I better be sure I'm finding joy myself.
Right.
Otherwise, it's that martyr, bleeding, gushing wound again. So that was huge. That was huge. It was shocking to hear that.
Wow.
And even still to this day, her skin's like amazing. And she still thinks like she's awful.
Oh.
Won't look in the mirror, any of it. I know. Generational, who knows what it is.
Right,
But what it is for me was that wake up.
right.
And maybe there's something that someone out there is hearing this and realizing like, hey, I need to think about things I say to myself that rob me of joy that I deserve.
Absolutely. You wonder why she would think that way. You're viewing it as something so beautiful,
Yeah.
and here you get this completely unexpected answer.
Shocking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely shocking. So, Cynthia, when you look back and think about all those spaces that you DJ'd in, big, small, what's one moment where you felt like this is why I do what I do?
Oh,
Or
so
15
so
moments,
many, so many.
however many you want to share.
I'll just pick something from this year. Lincoln Center. So I'm one of the resident DJs at Lincoln Center. Summer for the City. What an honor. Now, Lincoln Center is a place as a kid growing up in New York, thinking I would never be there. Then one year I was like, screw that, maybe I will. And then suddenly I'm there. So I think there's something about the things you tell yourself.
Again,
So
right?
again, this year, I have so many memories from this dance floor of people who were dancing together, couples, then realizing they didn't know each other. Love that.
Wow.
So they just, to the music, they were like, hey, let's dance.
Right?
And they would just dance. Then, and this is of all things, a huge group Macarena broke out.
No.
Just all the most random, but it was the most amazing group of people from boomers down to Gen Z. Now, I love you, Gen Z, because you know our music, because you're our kids. But they knew the words, and folks were singing lyrics just ah. With the silent discos, everyone has headphones on.
Oh,
So you're not hearing people
yeah,
singing,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I am hearing everyone
Of
singing
course.
out in the air. And you could be the most introverted person, but with headphones on, you feel like you're in your
Oh,
safe
absolutely.
space
Absolutely.
and you're singing louder than you would if you thought people could hear you. So there was a moment where like people's voices were just ringing. And I'm just like, this is why I do this. So people can share their energy and just be loud and let go. It's such an energetic release to sing. Even when you, especially if you feel like I can't sing, I'm a terrible singer. Oh, the more you need to just say, screw that.
Right.
I have a voice and I need to just blah. So there are moments it was just a few weeks ago where I got to see that amongst quote strangers, where on my dance floors people stop being strangers. It's
Wow.
it's just mm. And then at the end of the night, they're like, no. And I said, you guys don't want to go home, huh? And they're like, no.
One more song,
That's
please. One more
one more
song.
song, one more song. And then they're telling me union, union, cut it.
Right, right, right. What does that feel like when you look out at the crowd? What is that like? What does it feel like?
I'm so glad you asked me that. The first thing I say to myself is, I'm so glad I'm still alive.
Yeah.
And then the second thing I say to myself is, or am I dreaming? This is just too wonderful. Am I actually dreaming this? Because this is a dream. And especially in the city like that, and just seeing all these faces. Oh, people bringing their dogs too. I love that.
No.
That's like what comes to mind, just the gratitude of being able to stand there and make these music choices that get these people for 3 hours just dancing their asses off, of all the age groups,
Right.
kids too, which I love that they know the words. I'm like, how do you know these Madonna songs? You're 9.
Again, don't know what I had for breakfast, but can sing an entire album. Absolutely. Oh, wow. Wow. What do you hope that people remember? Like, what do you
Mm.
hope that crowd feels? What do you hope that they remember long after they leave, the night they go home? What do you hope they take with them?
What I hope they become at the end of the night. I don't want them to remember anything. I want them to let it go. I want them to just have an experience that's cathartic, that they just ah, sweat it out on the floor, leave it on the floor, and just go home a happier person.
Right.
That's what I hope, that people feel like, I'm so glad I came out tonight. So glad. And let's be honest, in these days, it's sometimes it's hard to get
Oh,
yourself out there at night, in the evening. It's legit. you're about to leave and you're like, should I really? I get it. But I love that people do show up and that they are showing up for themselves.
Yeah. And
I
nothing's
thank them on the dance floor every time.
oh, absolutely.
Thank
Well,
you.
I mean, I bet, and nothing's better than you say, "Wow, man, I am so happy I went out." It's
Yeah,
one of those feelings,
totally.
yeah.
Totally. Then it helps. The cherry on top is all the Instagram posts and the thank yous and all the things like that that I read, take a screenshot of, and try to relive it for myself because something that I am still working on all the time is slowing down and saying, we did a great job.
Mhm.
Don't just go, what's next?
Right.
Just sit in this and just be like proud of yourself for a moment and look at the effect you've had. And don't just say, next, next, because I had that energy too to be like, okay, next. But I didn't realize I wasn't celebrating steps along the way. And if you never celebrate small steps, you never celebrate. And that is also robbing yourself of a few cupcakes,
Yeah. No,
slice of pizza,
right. No,
and just the
absolutely.
idea
Right.
that you did a great
Right.
job,
And
you
missing
know?
out on the now, being in the present and missing out on the now. Yeah, I get it too.
Yeah,
I'm always thinking about, okay, I've got this week, I've got this week,
yeah,
et cetera. But like even now, I'm
yeah,
we're here together, we're talking, and I'm just celebrating the fact that I get to have you on video with me. Like that's,
yeah,
yeah, just
yeah.
being happy now.
I would like to start a trend where we take either Saturday or Sunday, because it starts with S, and do a Saturday summary of the week just for yourself. Be like, what cool, good, okay, decent, mildly decent thing did I get through
Yeah.
this week? Because we can't just live with the weeks just blowing
Mm-mm.
past us. Time is just flying by.
Yeah.
So if you don't take a moment to just be like, whoa, that was fun. I'm so glad I saw those people on Tuesday. I'm so glad I was able to do X, Y, or Z or wash the dishes or whatever it is.
Right.
I think we should look at a summary of our week and just be like, all right, now I know I could do next week too.
Right.
Yeah.
And pick up on the wonderful things that you did in that week, and maybe you carry that forward for the weeks
Yeah.
coming, and you don't
Yeah.
focus on the 5,000 things that you have to do, but you focus on the let me work in one or two, I'm going to do this for me fun things because it
Oh,
made me
yeah.
feel really good last week, so it'll make me feel really good this coming week.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that we have grown up in a culture where your self-worth is tied into whether you had kids, have a partner, got married, did the whole, thing, that you're not just a lonely person, which is so disempowering in so many ways.
Yeah.
So for many years post-divorce, I was not seeing anyone because I just thought, I don't have room for it. And I need to understand, is this bad? Are people looking down on me? Is my family? Maybe, because family does things like that. But am I lesser than?
Mhm.
And I thought, I'm not, because I'm doing so much. So I tried to figure out what it was that was so taboo about being single or whatever.
Right.
And I figured it out. It's really like the way people portray themselves as an individual is either as a whole person or needing to be completed,
Right.
which is a trap. Oh my goodness. What a trap. So, as an individual, I realized, well, there were four stages or states I was in my life as an individual.
Mhm.
And that was alone, lonely, solo, or independent.
Wow.
And I realized in my happiest times, I was solo independent and not alone or lonely.
Right.
And I realized, whoa, I think I just realized for myself how to not give a crap about any of that basic life programming that I did question, what if that's wrong?
Right.
There's not one way to live life.
No. No. No.
No, you know?
No, absolutely not.
So I think that you can't generate that joy or that lightness or that healthy body that we all want if you stick in a lonely and alone form of being an individual.
Mhm.
But you know, people who are like, I'm solo and I'm independent and look what I can do. And that doesn't mean they're not married. You
Right.
could have two solo people in a marriage and it's super like interwoven dependence, interdependent and like healthy. And you can be totally independent and be with someone. But when you're with someone because you're lonely and alone, ooh, therapists make money.
That's a topic for another conversation.
I know all about it all the time, all stages.
Oh man, no. It's that's a great way of I don't want to say categorizing, that may not be the right way to describe it, but that's a great way of breaking down um being by yourself.
Look in the mirror.
Right.
What's the first feeling you feel? If it's alone and lonely, what if you could tell yourself, actually, you might be solo and independent right now? Things change all the time.
Right. Right.
And if you look in the mirror and you go, I am solo and independent, then you can start thinking about what are you able to accomplish without distraction?
Right.
Mm.
Mm.
And those of us who are creatives
Right.
love that.
Right. Yeah. It reminds me of things that make you go, hmm.
Hmm.
Let's
Hmm.
think about that. I cannot express in words how joyful this conversation has been with you, Cynthia. And I'm so
Oh, thank you.
excited that you're here. And I close the show by asking each of my guests the same question. I believe that stories leave behind so much about how we showed up in this world. So I want you to tell me and our listeners and viewers what's one story, big or small, that you hope people remember you for.
I hope that people remember me for waking up to myself and realizing for myself that so much of my happiness and my joy and my health wasn't going to come from outside of me, but that it was intrinsic, that I could, in this moment right now on this recording, make myself have a bad day or a good day.
Right.
And just even pretending I would make a bad day, I immediately feel my body cleaving in half with sadness
Mm,
because that exists. Or if I tell myself, this was a good day because I connected with Dawn and I haven't spoken to her in a while, and look at what we're doing.
right.
I feel that healing up like a zipper. So I hope that people can remember in all the work that I've done in media, in music, in art, that I had the power to look at different angles of pain and that we all can do that.
Right. Beautifully insightful.
Hey, listen,
Beautifully
a
insightful.
cake that I make that falls on the floor is a cake I get to eat sooner.
That's, that's right. It's the 2-second rule.
Okay, 2 seconds, sure.
Oh God, you're hysterical. I love it. Again, I really want to thank you for sharing all of your stories and all of your insight and all of your deep wisdom, and so grateful that you were part of the show today. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in to this episode of Dawn of a Story. If something you've heard moved you, made you laugh, or made you think, please share it with someone you love. Please like and subscribe to the show. And if you're feeling brave, I'd love to hear your story by commenting below. It helps other story lovers find us too. And if you're interested to learning more about Cynthia, she is reachable through her Instagram account, DJ CherishTheLuv, and I will also put that in the show notes. And until next time, keep listening, keep sharing, and keep telling your story. Thank you, Cynthia. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.